Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Backlot Banter. I'm your host, Tanner Dexter, joined as always by my gotta go fast friends, Tucker Hazel and Abram Buhner. We are here today, as you might imagine, to talk about the newest cinematic masterpiece. The last cinematic masterpiece was Morbius. The
Yeah.
newest cinematic masterpiece is Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Every week, baby. New
Every
cinematic
week,
masterpieces coming out left and right. Secrets of Dumbledore's next. Where are we going to go from there?
who's to say? No, actually, Tucker, I think Father Stew is the next cinematic
Oh.
masterpiece. You forget. But if you want to hear us talk about all these different cinematic masterpieces, you should subscribe to Backlog Banter. You should like this video just for posterity's sake. You should join the Discord. That link is in the description. But like I said, we're here today to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 2, potentially the famed actor Jim Carrey's last film.
Which
Very
would
interesting.
mean that, of course, a little bit of spoilers. We're talking about spoilers. Who the fuck cares? This
Yeah,
Sonic.
it's a Sonic movie.
Guess what? Knuckles in it. Guess what? Tails in it. Which would mean that the last line of acted dialogue that Jim Carrey, famed character actor and comedian Jim Carrey, would say on History of Film is "Later, haters,"
Yep.
and that doesn't sit right with me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
Yep.
really a note for him to go out on.
It's a note, yeah.
Yeah, for certain. No, I feel like it's important to lay the groundwork here. What does everyone think about the first Sonic film? Just quickly, yes, like it, don't like it, whatever. I don't like it. First of all, for the record.
So what's interesting about this is I like it, but I feel like that might be a symptom of the fact that I had literally zero expectations.
Sure. Yeah. I had literally zero expectations as well, but it's the first one still underwhelmed me. Um, Mostly because it was just Sonic and his funny human buddy. But at least this movie gets away from that a little bit, which might be where it is slightly superior to the first one. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, unpopular opinion, this movie is bad. This movie has some shaky CGI, some very poor writing. The comedy almost never hits. The editing is just strange. And also during our viewing of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in
Oh yeah.
theaters, our projector was doing this thing where it would blink, like the screen would just go black for like 5 frames or something, and then it would return. And it wasn't happening that often, but every once in a while, I'm like, boop. Oh, all right, okay. Which did not necessarily help the viewing experience of Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
No, yeah. Maybe the film is amazing in those probably 20 to 30 frames that we missed
That's a
total.
great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
I saw every frame of the movie, and I think this movie fucking sucks. Which is too bad because I like Sonic the Hedgehog. I ever since I was a kid, I've grown up with Sonic the Hedgehog, and like I said, I don't know if it was a symptom of low expectations, but I thought the first film was kind of charming and fun. It was nowhere near the realm of very good, but I thought it was enjoyable. But my problem with this film, at its core, is the script. I think the script is terrible for the movie, and it's got pacing issues. It's got character arc issues, but I think the central problem that I have with this movie comes down to the humor and the fact that Sonic the Hedgehog is like 40 years old. He is a timeless character. He's not quite that old, but he's like 30 something years old. Point is, he's a timeless character. This movie already feels dated.
Yes.
Because the references in this are fucking ridiculous, as I want to talk about, and they are not funny. I think this movie skews both way too young, but then way too old in some of the writing that I don't know. It feels so muddled and jumbled, and nothing about this movie feels timeless at all. I think time is going to look back very poorly on Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Absolutely. It's interesting for me as someone who watches a lot of movies, but has the movie industry has seemingly leaned, I think, for the better, away from films that feature a human character interacting with their wacky cartoon buddy, which we got a lot of those when we were kids. We're talking Smurfs, we're talking Alvin and the Chipmunks, we're talking all that nonsense. But luckily, aside from like Tom and Jerry last year, we've kind of moved away from that. But it is jarring and uncomfortable to return to this mid 2000s ass comedy and pacing and writing where, man, I've seen a lot of movies where people are talking to individual cartoon characters, but at least they look like they're interacting with them. And this James Marsden's looking like right past Sonic the Hedgehog,
Yeah.
and the movie is just filled with shots of Sonic and Tails being short, and then like a human character in the background like this behind them. And I'm just imagining Jeff Fowler, the director, saying like, "Hey, James Marsden, do a little bit of this in the background. Because he's just like slightly shifting around, and it's like so clear that they just had them stand there for 20 seconds while they filmed a shot. It's just so full of these awkward moments that we should have ironed out by this point, because there have been so many movies of this ilk.
Yeah, I mean, I also didn't really like this movie. I think, God, there is just some. I just want to get into my biggest issue with the movie, because I think this is a step up from the first, which I also didn't like. But and this alludes to what Tucker was talking about. They lean away from the whole. Well, we can't have a cartoon movie with cartoon characters with all cartoon characters. We have to have a nondescript white guy for our cartoon character to bounce off of, and that's what the first movie was.
Yeah.
Wasn't great. James Marsden, he's fine, in a lot of respects, but as a guy for a wacky, cool Sonic to bounce off of, not too great. But I did appreciate about this one that they give Sonic tails, and they go on wacky little adventures for like the first, I don't know, 40 minutes of this. Not too bad. You get Sonic by himself, and then you get Sonic with tails, and they go to
Well,
a
you get
Russian.
Sonic with a dog for a little bit.
This is a fantastic point, Tucker. Thank you for reminding me. Then you get Sonic with tails, and they go to a Russian bar and have a dance off to Uptown Funk, because apparently they created this film. Still think it's 2016 or something. And then,
and then the marriage.
And then the marriage happens. So there's this
Jesus.
very strange decision. Like halfway through this, we get the big like first action sequence of the film on that mountain with Sonic Winter Olympicsing down that mountain in front of Knuckles the Echidna, and he makes a Winter Soldier joke. MCU, haha, you get it. And then they go through, and then Tails is knocked out, and he's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then for 20, 30 minutes, we get just human character hijinks. Now, can anyone here, we've all seen this film 24 to 48 hours ago. Can anyone here name the name of a single human character in the film?
Rachel.
Which one is that?
Oh, that's his wife's sister who's getting married, right?
That's the
Rachel-
one getting married. Okay.
Rachel's the one being married in the midst of the gun sting operation that relies on so many conveniences to catch Sonic the Hedgehog.
With Shamar Moore, love seeing Shamar Moore and stuff breaking out of that Criminal Minds box. You love to see it. But yeah, there's that really weird plot line which they try to tie it in with the whole Sonic deal with, but then we just get Rachel and her sister like sneaking around, and then she drives a golf cart into a fucking gazebo or something, and then she tases her husband. What are we doing? Where's Sonic? Isn't this a Sonic movie?
Here's the thing. Here's what I have so many issues with this movie that I need to unpack.
But I think that's what this is for. This is therapy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. At 40,000 feet, I think that this wedding sequence is emblematic of why this movie, I think, just does not work at all.
Yeah. It's certainly the thing that I think most people are going to point to and be like,
yes,
what the fuck were they thinking?
So first of all, the plot makes no sense. I think basically the plot to the entire movie makes no sense, but I think in particular the wedding plot line makes no sense and didn't have to happen. But there's this New York Post review of the movie that's been going around getting shit on by people on Twitter who are Sonic fans.
Ooh, okay, I'm gonna have to read this.
For saying that effectively the Sonic characters are lifeless and they spend too much time with them. I think the film has the other problem. I think the film spends too much time with the human characters. Yeah. Frankly, I think that if you kept this same nonsensical plot, stripped out the human stuff, and animated the entire thing front to back, like in that Puss in Boots style animation, an animated Sonic the Hedgehog feature, I think could be fantastic. Because it would lean into what makes the Sonic universe wacky and fun. But then I end up watching this movie, and it feels like I'm watching some fucking crazy sequence out of one of the rom-coms my mom watches. Mm-hmm. And everything just feels washed out and desaturated. Like, I think Knuckles looks terrible. I don't know if this is a hot take, but he's so desaturated. This movie has such a weird aesthetic where it tries to blend like Sonic temples and like the death egg and all kinds of stuff into this really nondescript like Hawaii or Seattle. And so it just feels so muddled. It feels like this. I get this full Sonic references. I see where the love is, but it just feels so muddled and uninteresting in 2009 to me.
I feel like you're right, Abram, in that going fully animated with this, but also strip out the issue of dating your film with real world like references and needle drops and jokes and things of that nature. As I mentioned, the Uptown
Winter
Funk
Soldier
needle
joke.
drop, the Winter Soldier thing, the I just had it in my brain. Oh, the flossing thing. They do flossing
They
again
do it
in this
again,
movie.
yeah. They do it again.
It's
They also do, which is probably the strangest miss of your target audience joke ever, is a reference to The Day the Earth Stood Still, a 60s or 50s sci-fi movie in which a robot says Klaatu Barada Nikto. And guess what? Eggman says that too. But guess what? The target audience for The Day the Earth Stood Still and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 are not together. Tanner and Sam and I probably the only people who could possibly get that joke.
I didn't catch it in the theater. I
So
certainly didn't.
this
You
actually
could have
brings
gotten that joke.
Yeah.
this brings up two parallel thoughts that I want to discuss. One's about the audience of this movie, the other is about the jokes. But we'll just talk about the jokes first.
Okay.
That's not the weirdest joke in this movie.
No, it's not.
I
Abram,
was
I know what you're
talking
gonna say.
I was talking with Tanner and Seth about this. The fucking weirdest joke in this movie is when Dr. Eggman makes a Donald Trump Charlottesville
Charlottesville.
joke.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking crazy that they do this. Like the thing is this, right? In a kids movie, you put in humor for adults. That's
Mhm.
just
Occasionally,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. There's that sort of dual layered thing that's in a lot of animated film for kids. But this just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like first of all, it's really weird to have Dr. Eggman to say there's good people on both sides.
Yeah.
It's outrageous that they decided to do that. Second of all, there's just no sense of cohesion or like cleverness to these jokes. Like that's not a joke. That's just the thing Donald Trump said. Or
Yeah.
or when Dr. Eggman's like he says something like something I'm glad I'm not listening to Limp Bizkit. Like
Yeah.
huh?
It's really strange. I do think that a lot of my enjoyment of the first film came from Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman. He was going all out a lot. A lot of it felt in that original movie like he was improving, and it gave him a weird energy. I'm like, okay, this is like a perfect combination of crazy cartoony villain and Jim Carrey's comedic abilities. In this film, unfortunately, I do think that aside from the fact that he's got a more game accurate costume, he's got this great mustache and stuff, I feel like they've taken away a lot of the spark of his character and filtered a lot of his jokes and actions through this is in the script. Like, you are doing this because it was written to be balanced around this scene, which doesn't work. Like, obviously, as we're saying, a lot of the comedy, a lot of the pacing, that kind of thing comes down to the script being really strange and like not flowing properly. But unfortunately, Dr. Eggman is hampered immensely by that. When he's telling a joke, you can tell he didn't come up with this. A boardroom came up with this because they thought it would be a joke that a strange ambiguous target audience would find entertaining, and that's just a huge knock to the enjoyment of this because man, he was funny in the first one, but in this movie when Knuckles gets thrown into a car and he goes, it's like
God. No, hang on a second. No,
What?
Tucker, I have to stop you there. Tucker, I have to stop you there because that got the biggest laugh out of me of the night when I was watching Sonic 2. Not because it was particularly funny, just because of I wrote my review around this on Letterboxd. The 3-shot sequence of Knuckles just suddenly getting hit by a cop car, cut to Jim Carrey doing the robot, and then Tails poking his head out of the window of the cop car and going, "Sonic, it's me!" I was dying in that theater. Holy God.
I think the only joke that really made me laugh because it's just again it's fucking completely outrageous is when it's revealed that everybody at Rachel's wedding is a gun agent.
Yeah.
And she goes, so even the guy that waxed my
Mm-hmm. Little adult joke for you there.
like the movie operates with a zero subtlety, and I think that's why the sequence you're talking about is unintentionally funny.
Well, yeah,
but it's
exactly.
also why I think Eggman has been ruined because I agree with you. I think a big part of the reason why I found, in spite of the first movie's issues, it to be a fun movie is because Jim Carrey just fucking went a gadunk
Yeah.
on the craziness dial, and he had a ridiculous performance. But here it doesn't work. I don't think Eggman is funny at all anymore because it's fucking. This movie was written by Amy Rose with her pico hammer, just fucking hitting shit with a hammer, no subtlety. Like when they're in the cave at the end of the movie or the temple, and they're talking about like how the owls and the echidnas have fought for generations, and Sonic turns to the camera and goes like Vin Diesel and the
The
Rock.
Rock.
Yeah, I I actually had a moment in this movie where I cringed harder than I almost ever have watching a feature film in a theater, which was at the end when suddenly Knuckles is just a strange character in this film in the first place. Let's break down each of the characters after this and talk about why they largely don't work. But Knuckles in this is kind of just a burly dude for the most part, not really doing a lot interesting, and then he switches sides near the end and then just becomes a shitty Starfire ripoff where he's like, where his whole bit is he doesn't speak English well and what is a baseball bat?
I'm having the fun.
Yeah, and it's like, no way. What are they doing here? And it got such a cringe out of me when he said that. They're like trying to play baseball. And then the fucking James Marsden's wife, I don't even remember the character's name, comes over and is like, man, I'm so glad Sonic is got some friends now. Especially that red one. He just really cracks me up. And I just was sitting in the theater like, they know this is not funny. They have to know, right?
Idris Elba has to know, right? He has to know.
I think Idris Elba gives a good performance.
I don't agree.
Well, here's the problem. I think it comes back to the script issue. I think his line delivery is I think less grating than the other animal characters.
Sure, yeah.
And Idris Elba was a good actor. But here's the problem. I don't think he's doing Starfire. I think he's doing Drax. That's the impression I got the entire time.
Sure, that's a good point.
But I think the line delivery itself is Starfire because she does the I am having the what is the blah 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 or whatever.
That is true, but there's also the stuff of like him squeezing the hand too tightly or being like, what's ice cream? It's very much like, why would I drag my finger across his throat? Or nothing goes over my head. I will always catch it.
Yeah.
And it really does feel like actually to make a lot of shitty MCU jokes in this movie. Like, hey, Dr. Eggman, you look like Professor X and some other pop culture reference mixed together.
Yeah.
I do think that there's a lot of intentional or unintentional Guardians of the Galaxy rip-offage in this movie. With the Chaos Emeralds at the end and with the portrayal of, it almost feels like we're building a Guardians of the Galaxy-esque team in the way that we have to overcome our differences as Sonic and Knuckles are really as Star-Lord and Drax and become friends in the middle. Like this movie feels, in my opinion, so dated and so derivative in its portrayal of these characters, and that's so fucking weird to me.
Well, Abram, it's funny you say that because I just remembered I have two more jokes that I want to bring up that are weird. That are weird. The first one, going off of what you said, the derivative thing is when Dr. Eggman and Agent Stone, I believe, are running from that like giant spiky ball in the temple, and he says, "I don't want to die like this. It feels derivative." I don't know. I thought that was a little bit funny. And the other one was when they do a Parks and Rec reference because Ben Schwartz famously portrays John Ralphio on that show. And Sonic is sitting on the couch and he goes, yada, yada, yada. That's the worst. Like the thing that John Ralphio does in the show.
Oh, I'm getting fucking fourth hand cringe just listening to this.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's one other joke I want to shout out before we stop talking about the fucking awful jokes. Before the movie started, I had to look it up. There's a trailer for this nondescript and terrible looking animated movie called Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank.
Oh my, that looks so bad.
Michael Cera, Samuel L. Jackson, Mel Brooks.
And there's
Iglesias, fucking crazy cast.
There's a joke in there where like there's like a big cat and a little cat, and the big cat like flosses his ass with the little cat. And Jean, because I somehow coerced my girlfriend Jean and our friend Sanjana to come see Sonic the Hedgehog with me. She turns to me and goes, Sonic is not going to be like this, right? When the ass flossing joke happens, and I say no, there's no way. And then we get to the prolonged sequence where Sonic has set up the shitting chili dog fake Sonic in his attic to scare his fucking human buddy away, and for literally 45 seconds of screen time is Sonic going, "Oh, I had too many chili dogs. Uh-oh, don't come over here." And I just felt like I had to apologize on the spot right there.
Jeff Fowler needs to apologize. I mean,
Yeah.
that was pretty fucking heinous.
Yeah. Now, did I hear a little birdie say that we wanted to talk about characters in this movie?
Well, I just think it's Abrams' point about how these characters feel weirdly dated already. I think is peculiar to me because it's not dated in the way that I think I might want it to be, where maybe Sonic feels like he's from the 90s and he's making sort of 90s references, and it feels like this sort of... Sonic the Hedgehog is popular because he's not the kiddie character that Mario or other platforming mascots were at the time. He's cool. He's making adult jokes. But I think that one of the biggest problems with these two films, at least watching it as someone who's not a fan of Sonic but understands what the vibe of him is that make people enjoy him, is they literally, and they will not stop mentioning this, they make him a kid. He is 10 to 12 years old, and he's just a kid, guys, and he has so much of his life ahead of him, and he needs friends, and, you know... Sonic, you know, you're gonna grow up someday, and I'm so glad that you're just a kid right now.
Yeah,
like,
they call him our kid at points, you know.
Constantly, and there's an emotional moment at the end where he calls James Marsden his fucking dad, and like making him a child, but like a superhero child with like fantastic abilities, but not like really playing into this. Like it's so strange, and it makes Sonic just feel like a whiny brat the entire time. I think the only thing that brings him down a little bit is Tails, who I think is basically just like Tails from the games. Like obviously it's the voice actress who currently voices Tails from the games. I think she does the best job of any of the voice actors because she actually knows what she's fucking doing.
Yeah.
But Tails is, you know, just happy and excited to be around Sonic and stuff, and that feels like Tails. But then you've got Sonic, who does not feel like Sonic at all from any other media because he's just a kid, and they will not let you forget this.
I made a joke about that when I was watching it. I turned to our friend who was sitting next to me, and I said, "Sonic." It was when like James Marsden was yelling at him for going out and being Batman or whatever. Yeah. And I said,
Blue
Sonic,
Justice.
Yeah. I said, Sonic, you don't have to listen to him. You're a god compared to them. They're ants beneath your feet, Sonic. You could kill them in an instant. You could pull their hearts out of their chest with super speed.
Here's the thing about it. I used to watch a lot of Sonic X. Every Saturday morning, I'd watch Sonic X. And Sonic has never been what Sonic is now. But let me tell you why this is. When I saw Sonic 1, I saw it, I think, opening day.
Oh, yeah, we did too.
I was there in a largely...
Valentine's Day 2020.
Yes. Jean had to go to work and do things until the day was done. So I went and saw Sonic and Birds of Prey. But the fact of the matter is I was in there in a theater largely by myself, like a couple other people my age or older who knew Sonic, right? I come on a Saturday. It's the 1:30 afternoon showing. And the theater is packed like it was for No Way Home for me.
Wow.
But it was packed with children.
Of course it was, yeah.
But what I didn't understand, and as soon as I walked into the theater, I'm like, oh god, I really fucked up by coming here today. Sonic the Hedgehog again has become a children's character, and I didn't realize that there were kids between the ages of like 4 to 7 who were dressed up as Sonic, carrying Sonic plushes, like all into it, and there was this little kid named Hammy who was kicking my fucking seat constantly, but which never really bothers me because they've like kids probably never been in a movie theater before. I didn't really care, but I hear her telling to her mom the trailer stuff. She's like, "This isn't Sonic. I want Sonic. Where's Sonic?" So the mom had to explain what trailer previews were.
Yeah.
But then the movie starts going, and she's calling shit out. She's like, "It's Sonic. It's Tails. It's Knuckles. It's Super Sonic." Like, suddenly kids again have come to love Sonic, and I don't really know why, to be honest with you. I think it's because the movies have like changed his reputation completely, and so through that lens I get why Sonic has been recontextualized this way, but I just don't think this is the right way to do it, because Mario is beloved by kids, but people our age and 15 years older too, because he's a timeless character. It goes back again to the fact that this character doesn't feel timeless. it feels like it's there to make the chili dog shit jokes for the 4-year-old in the seat behind me and nobody else.
We'll see,
Yeah.
Abram. That's where Chris Pratt's Super Mario Bros. By Illumination will come in.
Jesus Christ.
Mario will get the Sonic treatment eventually.
This
Abram,
movie
don't you worry.
killed my any possible excitement I had for that movie. I came out of this, I was like, oh no, this is what video game movies are now.
Yeah, and even then, to wrap it up a little bit, I feel like there is an element of this video that is us. Oh, we're 20 to 23-year-olds, and we can't.
None of us are 23. I don't know how you got that.
We're
None of us are 20 either.
Well, oh yeah, we're all 21-year-olds here, I guess I should say. But I feel like this is a complaint across the board with people our age. Like, I can't believe they turned Sonic into some stupid kids thing. How could they do this to my beloved character? And to that point, we're no better than everyone who shits on Teen Titans Go because it's not like the old thing. They made it for kids or whatever.
Teen Titans Go, excuse me.
Yeah,
one of my favorite cartoons.
Did you ever watch the original Teen Titans show? This is an aside. Okay.
I watch it all the time.
Yeah. Both good shows, I will say, for different audiences. And that is fine.
Yeah, no, so I agree with you. I think about this quite often, and I feel a little bit of remorse in me being so shite upon this movie. I don't like the idea that I'm going to become the generation that's shitting on the next generation. Like, that frustrated me so much when I was a kid. It frustrates me now with people ignoring positives or levying criticisms that don't necessarily seem fair. And of course, this is us talking from our perspective. I do think it's interesting how Sonic has been recontextualized and introduced to a younger audience, though that is confusing to me because what Sonic games are they playing? Are they playing Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania? I don't think so. I don't think 7-year-olds are playing these fucking games.
They're watching Sonic Boom is what they're doing.
Sonic Boom's not running anymore. That was like 6 years ago.
Well,
that's my thing. Like, literally, it's just the TV show now. Like, Sonic games aren't even that frequent anymore. Like, it'll be interesting to see where they take Sonic's newfound popularity with this, because Sonic's just been clipping along for the last 30 years, and sometimes spikes in popularity, but this is a different kind of popularity, and maybe that'll just be how Sonic is nowadays. But I do think that there is a possibility that they hopefully realize with maybe the kids of this age growing up, that there is an edgy appeal to Sonic that is aimed at kids because they think it's cool, but is also more palatable to older audiences. I think that's where our disconnect comes from, is Sonic feels like any other funny, silly kids character now, as opposed to Sonic's reason to exist being kids finding cool Sonic fun, not kids finding kid Sonic fun.
Sure.
There's a disconnect there, but also, if kids enjoy this, like, we're 21. We're not supposed to be going to this movie. We're not the fucking target audience. So, like, whatever.
You see it, but I'm not sure I agree with that personally, because Sonic is a generational character. Everybody connects to Sonic differently. And I think my issue with this film is not necessarily that it skews younger, but that it skews dumber. That's my problem. I don't think that this is a smart movie in any way. I don't think the script is witty. Because I came back home after the movie and started playing Lego Star Wars. That is a game aimed at kids. Yeah. But there's a wittiness and a reverence there that is accessible to people of all ages. And Sonic the Hedgehog 2 doesn't feel that way. And I get it. We're doing the snowboarding down the mountain like in Sonic Adventure. The jet says SA-2. I get it. He goes supersonic. We see Eggman's big boss from Sonic 2. Like, I understand that there's a reverence for the source material here, but it's funneled through this it's fucking... Again, pico hammered, smashed through it's a square peg in a round hole, and I just think that you can make it for kids, but you can make it scale, and I don't think this movie scales at all.
Yeah.
It's interesting
that is the common. So it's all right. That's the common complaint with like dumb kid stuff like this, is that we have examples of smart, good kids things, and then we have a whole other pile of dumb kids things.
Yeah, I think that fortunately, at least what we're exposed to, which is theatrically released films, that pile has gotten significantly smaller as kids have gravitated towards watching things on streaming services and watching more TV shows and things like that. We don't get many of these movies anymore. I mean, Tanner and I were thinking back to it, like, Boss Baby and Tom and Jerry are like the examples of the last few years, but otherwise, like, Disney and Pixar know that their audiences are larger, and those movies have themes and characters and writing that are a lot smarter. So when we're watching kids' movies like Turning Red and Soul and Luca, we're like, hold on, no, this is actually a good film with good characters and themes that you can relate to. There are no themes in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Friendship, being a hero,
Yeah.
taking responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
guess I'm wrong about that. But yeah, I'm glad that we're not subjected to so much of this anymore. But we were subjected to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and that's unfortunate. But guess what? They're making it a fucking cinematic universe now. There is a Knuckles the Echidna show in the works. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is currently in development with Jeff Fowler returning to direct. It's there's no escaping it.
Well, yeah. What I was gonna say was if you're worried about Sonic not being cool and edgy enough, we're gonna balance out that scale in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 with Shadow. Shadow's
great
coming,
point.
baby. The Shadow Project. Shadow's been on Earth for 50 years. How would that happen? Who's to say? But he's cool and edgy, and Sonic's gonna make some jokes like, "Oh man, this guy's so emo" or something. I don't know.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
There's gonna be gun and motorcycle jokes all over this fucking movie for sure.
God. Give Shadow a gun. Do it. Have him shoot at Sonic with real bullets.
Well, this has been our review of the A Cinema Score 97 audience score of Rotten Tomatoes movie Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Mm-hmm. We'll be back to review Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and probably quite a few things before that movie. So, stick around. We'll see you guys next time.
I mean, I don't really understand why we're going to criticize this movie considering it has a 98% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes and an A cinema score.
That can't possibly be true.
As of last time I knew, it had a 98% audience score on Metacritic, and it definitely has an A cinema score.
It's got a 97 audience score. You're right. God, movies are dead. Movies are fucking dead in the water, face down, 2 bullets to the back of the head.